one of the really interesting things that happened in the past like 2 weeks or something is that Hori decided to, or not decided, they're making new arcade sticks. Actually, I'm gonna start with this one. So this is the Hori Fight Stick Mini 4. We've seen this before plenty of times. It's kind of like the big bait in terms of like cheap arcade sticks. It retails at around like $50 or something like that, and it is for the PS4 and PC. But the one thing that is different about this fight stick is that it is for the Nintendo Switch. Now when it comes to the Nintendo Switch, there are not a lot of very reputable sources in terms of like their own fight sticks. Like qunba doesn't make Nintendo Switch fight sticks, Razer doesn't make Nintendo Switch fight sticks, Mad Cats are out of business, and the only ones that actually make fight sticks for the Nintendo Switch is Hori with the Rap 5 or Rap 4, basically the Rap line, not the N, for the Nintendo Switch, which kind of retails at $150, and that's kind of like the pro version for the Nintendo Switch. There's no like that $200 price point for the Nintendo Switch right now, like the qunba Obsidian, the Hori Fighting Edge, or the Razer Panthera for the Nintendo Switch. And then when it comes to like the third-party options, the cheaper ones like the 8-bit Do NS30, which is actually pretty good, and you can mod it and stuff like that. And of course the Mayflash F300, F300 Elite, and also the Mayflash 500, F500. The cool thing about those is that you can upgrade them, and they work with plenty of different consoles and PCs, Android, and stuff like that. What I would have liked is something that kind of fights that $200 price point, or something that is kind of like the sweet spot, like the $100 price point, which the qunba Evo or even like the Mad Catz TAS Plus retails at around $100. Retails not $100, but you can get it for around $100 if you wait a little bit. If Hori made a fight stick like that for the Nintendo Switch, it would be a good option. But this is just kind of like something that is, I think the fight stick mini in general is just kind of a bait. But if you're like somebody that wants to get into fighting games, and I feel like a lot of Switch owners are starting to get that itch of fighting games, with a lot of new anime fighters coming into the Nintendo Switch, like Dragon Ball Fighters, Central Fiction, BB Tag, and also Blade Strangers, I think. And they also have Mortal Kombat coming up. So this might be a good option as a starter, even though I think I will always recommend like the 8-bit Do or the Mayflash F300 as a starter stick for the Nintendo Switch. But if you want like something that your kids are going to use or something like that, I think the Fight Stick Mini would be a good job for that. Okay, now for the big news that happened in the other day or something is that Hori are now making a new fight stick. It's the Hori Fighting stick. A very creative name. It is one of the best names of all time. And looking at it, it's actually pretty bland. People may or may not like the actual the way it looks, but there are a lot of really interesting things about this fight stick in this moment. So first of all, it retails at 9,980 yen, and if we Google that and we put it to US dollars, yen to USD, it's about 90 bucks. So this fight stick retails at around $90, and it kind of is similar to the qunba drone, which retailed at around $80, but this has a lot of really interesting parts. With the fight stick, fighting stick by Hori, one, it is a noir layout. The noir layout. When it comes to fight sticks in general that have the noir layout, there's not really a lot of fight sticks that have the noir layout. We have the Taki Omni, Hori Rap Pro N, the Namco sticks, and that's basically pretty much it. Also the Fighting Edge in terms of like the retails. If you want like Noir layout. It's really hard to find other than the Ataki Omni or the Wrap Pro N or the Fighting Edge. And some people do prefer this layout than the Vulex layout because it kind of fits their hand a little bit better. That's one thing that's really cool about the Hori Fighting Stick. Right, the Hori Fighting Stick. And the other thing is that it actually has a compartment at the bottom, which is pretty cool, and it's a magnet or whatever. And it also has a headphone jack. So if those features, the headphone jack and the Noir layout, are really important to you, this might be something that you will check over the qunba drone. But the problem is that this is $90. The qunba drone right now, you can get it for like $56. The retail price really just went down after 2 or 3 years. I think 2 years or something. I hope that the price of this fighting stick goes to like 60 or 70. That would be kind of the sweet spot for this fight stick in general. And also I'm really interested to see what kind of buttons this fight stick actually has, because Hori does make their own Hayabusa buttons, and the qunba drone buttons are pretty bad, honestly. I mean, I have it right here. This is the qunba drone, and the main complaint that I have is that I really like the shape, and it's very small, which is also really good about this fighting stick, is that it's very small and you can carry it around places, especially if you're carrying a lot of stuff, which, you know, makes sense. But the problem that I have is that the qunba's in-house buttons and stick are just not that good, and they're just like, the stick is very loose and the buttons are very very toy-like. So I hope that with this stick that Hori is making, if they use Hayabusa buttons, which are I'm like 80% sure they're not gonna use Hayabusa buttons, but if they do, that'd be awesome. Or if their in-house buttons for their budget sticks are pretty good, or if they're like good, that'd be pretty sick. And I might actually recommend the fighting stick over the qunba drone when it comes to that $60-70 mark. Because when you look at fight sticks in general, and looking at the retail fight sticks at around $60 and $70, there's not really a lot of fight sticks that you can get right off the bat. The really main fight sticks are just kind of like in that $200 price point. For $150, you really can get only the Hori Wrap, the Wrap line. And when you go to like $100 mark, you are going to like the TES Plus, qunba drone Evo, and things of that sort. But when it comes to that, those are just very limited. The Evo right now you can get, but I don't think you can get it in the future as much compared to like the Wrap or like the Fighting Edge and things like that. And also the TS Plus is very finicky. Sometimes it's like $130, sometimes it's $60. And because of Mad Catz is not really like a company anymore, it's hard to kind of rely on that. So I really like the addition of new fight sticks like this. Kind of fits that qunba drone ish place. I'm interested also to see like how this actually if you can mod it and things like that, if there's things that you can actually do to mod it. And this might actually be something that a lot of people might like for travel and just kind of locals and things like that, which is the same reason why I bought the qunba drone, because it's very small, fits in your backpack very easily, and most backpacks, maybe even a small bag. And also you can replace the buttons, which I'm going to do with Sanwa and or Shimizu or whatever you want. Yeah, so that's basically it. I just wanted to make this quick video about the Hori fighting sticks. I think they're very cool, very interested, and I'm always like down for new fight sticks. I just wish qunba or something else, Razer, makes that good bang for your buck fight stick at around $100 that will really kind of shake up the market. And so far, if this doesn't have Hayabusa buttons, it really just depends on the buttons and the stick itself. If they're like really good, then this would probably fit that line. But if they're like mediocre or maybe even worse than the qunba drone, then this will pretty much go down the hill. I'm also really excited for the art options with this. The fact that it is actually kind of maybe you can put a plexi on it, because everybody knows with the qunba drone right here, you can't really put a plexi on it because of the way that it is shaped and the way, I don't know, some other reasons. So maybe you can put a plexi on that and to do some art, and that will be a little bit interesting. So yeah, that's it. I'm really excited for this. I might even get it, the Hori Fighting stick, and also the Mini 4 going into the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys later.
後悔を嘆く目に映る君はそう憂いを